Hello everyone and welcome to Attic Gaming Club episode 12.
I would say 1 plus 2 is 12, but it's not funny anymore.
And it's not correct, because 1 plus 2 is 3.
Who says that maths is correct?
Clearly not you.
Higgs boson, I called it.
Yeah, I saw that. But anyway, we're not... Who's left their phone on?
Oh, Dan, spoiling it for everyone. I'm checking my phone now.
Well, as you can tell by his ringtone, today in the Attic Gaming Club we have Mr. Dan Green.
Hello, hello.
Because everyone knows Dan's ringtone or beep.
Of course
sounds,
they do.
Don't they?
We also have Dave.
Who, me? Yes, you. Could be. Then who?
Pooh
Tom
you.
stole the cookies from the cookie jar.
And Tom.
Hello.
So there we go. Yeah, welcome. Thanks for joining us again. I got a feeling it's going to be quite a short episode today. One, because we talked about loads of crap last week.
Yeah, I got
and
bored.
two, well, everyone gets bored listening to you.
But I get bored listening to myself, there must be.
But generally, I don't know about you guys, but I've done nothing since last week.
Me neither.
Same thing.
Okay, but Dan has done something. So
Nothing,
why don't?
nothing that I really want to talk about, though.
Too late.
But it may be stuff that people want to hear about. So why don't we go straight over to Dan, and you can tell us exactly what you've done.
Okay, so last Saturday, I went to the Pro Tour qualifier Dragon's Maze. Very exciting. Magic the Gathering tournament. If you win, you get to go to the Pro Tour, which is somewhere. I have no idea where.
Was there an actual dragon?
There was no dragon.
Was there a maze?
There was no maze.
That's pretty fucking disappointing.
It really
Straight
was. Yeah. Well, they always call them after the next set, which is going to be released. So the next set is Dragon's Maze, which is a really lame name. But anyway. So yeah, these tournaments are pretty good. You tend to get a lot of good players that go there playing good decks, and it's fairly competitive. So it's a lot of fun if you're into competitive Magic. I went with Sam, who comes here quite frequently, and we both did fucking terribly.
Yeah. Well, at least you turned up because you weren't sure.
Yeah. But yeah,
How terribly?
well, I was playing the same deck which I played at the last two Pro Tour qualifiers, and I did pretty well at the last two.
Is that your burn deck?
That is my burn deck.
Did
yeah.
you take the type of cream that I suggested?
Well, I actually put that as my deck name. Well, no, I called it. Would you like some cream for that burn?
Yeah,
that was the name of my deck.
My legacy.
which didn't matter. If I got to the top 8, then that they sort of publish your deck lists online and stuff, so other people can see what decks are doing well in tournaments and things like that. But I did terribly. I won one match, drew one match, and lost 4, and then dropped from the tournament because I was 0 point in continuing. And I think it was 8 rounds. So in order to get to the top 8, you have to win 6, lose 2. Yeah. And I think even if you do that, then depending on your tiebreakers, then you still might not get in. So, but it was fun anyway. It was cool. Yeah, that was it really.
It's interesting that the tournament mentality for Magic is very different from the tournament mentality for Warhammer, or at least what I perceive to be the tournament Warhammer mentality. Because with that one, you pay your 40 quid, 30 quid, whatever, to go to a 1 day or a 2 day tournament, and you'll play every game, even if you are on the bottom table for the whole tournament. You're there because you want to play the games and you want to enjoy it, and I guess there's value to be earned in playing each game, even if you're sucking hard, because you know what, or you would hope that you start to learn what's going wrong, what lists are doing what, and, you know, I mean, I guess it's possible to be frustrated and rage quit the tournament, but I guess it's much more prevalent that stuff happens with Magic the Gathering than with Warhammer. Tom, feel free to step in, because you obviously go to a lot more tournaments than I've ever been to, but...
I'd say that's probably fair. How long does a game of Magic usually last?
I think they're like 45-minute rounds.
Yeah, it's for 3 games, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
best
for
of
3.
Yeah. So as opposed to playing a 15-minute game, you're looking at Fantasy, you're looking at playing for 2.5 hours. So an individual game of Fantasy probably has more weighting to it for the player than an individual game of Magic has for it. So if you've already played, by that point you played 5 best of 3s, so you played at least 10 games.
Yeah.
By that point, you're I'm a bit burned out here. Whereas if you've, for that same amount of time, you've probably maybe played 2 games of Fantasy. I'll go for a third.
Yeah.
I suppose with the Magic tournaments or other card game tournaments, because I found the same when I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! I went to a couple of tournaments for that. Once you've played so many lists, you get a general feel for what everyone's running, because most people in the competitive games will be running very similar styles of list, and at that point you just, I'm fed up with that. I'm not going to win or get anywhere, so I'm just going to go home and play with my friends or find a table somewhere else and sit down and play for fun rather than as part of the tournament. That certainly happened for me. So
Yeah, I suppose that another good point to make is it's probably similar with Warhammer, I suppose, in that, as you say, a lot of people sort of net deck, so they'll go online and look what decks have done well at other tournaments and just build that deck. But the good thing is, the more sort of decks you play, you get to learn how to sort of craft your sideboard, which is like 15 cards, which after every game you can sort of switch in and out with the cards in your deck. So you can sort of come up with sideboarding strategies and things like that against certain decks. Yeah. So even though you're getting stomped, you can still sort of learn a lot, like by losing, if that makes sense. And it's probably similar in Warhammer, I suppose. Like certain tactics, and you know, if one guy is playing this army and he's sort of using these guys in order to beat those guys with your army, you might need to do something a bit different. I don't know, because I don't play Warhammer.
Well, you get people trying to generally build all-comer lists for Warhammer tournaments, or worrying not so much about a certain type of list because that might not appear as much. Whereas, as you said, with like side decks, it can be a really legitimate part of the game.
Yeah.
You can win or lose. Like a couple of Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments I was at, if I didn't have a side deck to be able to go against, retaliate certain other players' decks, then I would have totally lost out. But as it happened, I used those and I came back and I won a few because of them. So they work.
They do.
Yeah, no, it's just interesting to see the difference between, you know, that is seriously disturbing, Dave.
What?
Never get within 50 centimetres of me, please. Anyway, way to destroy a train of thought, Dave.
What were you thinking?
I don't remember.
Oh.
Because your face was pushed against mine.
My powers are nearly complete.
So, yeah, anyway. Yeah, tournaments. Yay. Or nay, in that case.
Yeah. So, anyway, I got crushed. What was everyone else doing, if anything?
I was getting crushed, but that's mainly because I broke the ceiling and it fell down on me. That also might be a lie.
Did you sit on the ceiling and how it broke?
I sat on the ceiling and then it fell on me upside down.
Subsequently, yeah.
In Higgs boson land.
Excellent. Yeah, I've been up to nothing. Well, I say that. I did paint some bases on my undead. Exciting, I know. But I undercoated a whole unit of skeleton warriors and painted the bases, going for like a moonlit night theme. So they're kind of...
Is that the blue one you would...
Yeah, kind of dark blue, washed with black, highlighted up to grey. So it's kind of hopefully going to look cool.
Yeah.
But that was it. I really did sweet FA other than that. Anyone else? Oh, I finished... Actually, I know I did something. I finished the Blood Sworn... I can't remember what the last...
Trilogy.
Ulrika the Johnson... Ulrika the Johnson. That is now officially my vampiress's name.
Ulrika the Johnson.
Ulrika the Johnson. Ulrika the Vampire series. Or Ulrika the Johnson, depending on what you like. I need to paint an alternative model of her now.
You
in
do,
the,
with a cock rocket or something.
The yellow and black spandex bodysuit that she used to wear. Oh, God.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I finished that series of books. The third book kind of had its ups and downs. It was not as good as the first, slightly better than the second. It got a bit whiny towards the end, to be honest. And
wow, I missed Felix.
Oh, no, not even that. It was all like,
really?
oh, woe is me, I'm an evil vampire, I've done horrible things, I should just kill myself, but I'm not brave enough to kill myself, blah, 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 whine. So yeah, pretty disappointing as a series overall. Wouldn't recommend it, not as good as the Thanquol series.
I'm going to skip it then.
Yeah, it's not worth it. I got some mild amusement out of it because I play a Vampire Count's army that is Lamian themed, but it's not worth it. And I moved on to the Vermintide book, which was, I believe, the first sort of Skaven's focused book. It was before the Thanquol series came out, and it was kind of aimed at, yeah, it's kind of like a lot more dark than the Felix books, and you know, a bit more moody and brooding, and you know, all that. Anyway, I'm only like 50 pages in, but it seems good. It's quite short. It's only like 250, but seems good, interesting. So we'll give that a try. So that is all I've been up to. Who is next?
That was a good theme tune, I like it.
No one?
Next.
Okay, go Tom.
I've done nothing.
Excellent. Dave?
Yay! I finished Fulgrim, the book from
What did you
the Thingy series.
Horus
Thingy
Heresy.
series. Horus Heresy, that's it. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
It's good, isn't it?
It's
very
cool.
sort of, at times, sort of very comic booky. Fulgrim, no!
Yeah. It's constantly, especially with the knowledge that obviously everyone's...
You know how
what
it's going
legions
to
are going to
turn out,
fall when they try and build up the tension. If you've got any idea about the Horus Heresy, you go, so they're going to come and be bad, and everyone else thinks they're going to be good for a bit, blah blah blah. And same with Fulgrim, you're like, excuse me, thinking, oh, but he might save himself, he might not fall, but you know he's going to. The same way Horus did, you're like, oh, but he can make a different choice.
Wait, you mean Horus betrays the Emperor?
Yes, apparently. Spoilers! Oh my god. So, similar sort of thing. But they do it well. They keep the pace and the tension really good. So.
Yeah, it's a really good book. I really enjoy Fulgrim.
All the, and especially the way the Emperor's Children go from being the whole perfection to more just about being aloof and better than everyone else, rather than actually applying it, so they're just being pretty at the end of it, and how that falls into becoming what essentially everyone knows as the Noise Marines. Nice to see their creation.
I really liked how they did the fall of the Emperor's Children. They did it in a really cool way.
Yeah, it was cool. I've got the next book in the series to move on to, but I'm going to have a break from reading for a bit and play some games on the train instead. I've got some stuff stacked up on my PS Vita to play, but that's not really.
Is the next one Descent of Angels?
Yes, I think so.
That's one of the weaker ones.
No, really? No. Yeah. Then I don't mind leaving it for a bit before I read it. But did that. I also almost have finished putting together my Juggerbuggers, or Skull Crusher Juggernaut of Corn thingies. Really nice models, really nice kits, go pretty well. The only annoying thing with them, which, excuse me, you may have seen on a few blogs when they came out, was the Juggernaut models themselves. They have this kind of seat or throne that's on them that the rider sits in, but it's got part of the legs moulded into it. So for conversions and stuff and just creating models is a bit of a pain, a bit of an annoyance, and some people have said it's a bit lazy on GW's part.
It's like Chaos Knights.
Well, no, because Chaos Knights, you've got the two halves of their legs which join at the bum, and then they come out, and then you've got the rider's body and everything goes in. But you can actually construct the horses and the knights separately, and there's no. You've got the seat that they go in, but there's no bit that joins. Whereas on the Juggernauts, you've got a throne that comes up, and it's actually got part of the backside and the side of the legs of the knight built into them. So it's just a bit poor, but the general sculpt, the quality of the sculpture is excellent, and the items you get with it and all the extras and stuff, and the armour goes together really well. They've thought about it a lot. So you've got big shoulder pads, and they've got the I'm not sure what they're called. They're kind of like buckles or bucklers or bits of armour that cross between the chest guard and the shoulder pad to give them that extra bit of there's extra adornments, but they also work as showing that they're really heavily armoured. Covers all the cracks and chinks in their armour essentially. So I really like them. They're nice. I'm looking forward to using them.
Cool. If we ever play Fantasy again,
we will. I want to. And other than that, not much. Oh, my Demon Prince, I put him together.
I saw.
Was that the one with the sword?
Yeah, the guy with the sword.
That looks really awesome.
Nice you get two options with them. You can either have him with wings or with like trophy racks, which is basically you haven't bought in the fly bonus, so he hasn't got wings or something. But I wanted trophy racks as well, so I cut them down a bit and stuck them on the inner parts of his shoulder blades, and then just used some modelling stuff to smooth it out and make it look like they weren't just big lumps. So got those on there.
It's definitely a good idea to have spiky things on your back
when
you have leather wings.
Definitely. Yeah, well, he's got that extra knowledge about how to use them, because
that's why
he's a Demon Prince.
So many flying hedgehogs or spiky bats.
Well, evolution will get there.
There you go.
You heard it here first.
But yeah,
other than that, that's all I've done really. Not much.
Cool beans. Sweet.
Beans of cool.
Excellent. Okay. Well.
News. Any news? No.
Any news?
Oh well.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't have any. Tom?
No.
Dan? Say yes, and then say no, because it'll be funny.
I don't really have any news. The only news that I do have is Magic.
But that is news!
It's Magic the Gathering related again, unfortunately.
That's fine.
But the next set, which is going to be released, which is the last set in the block of the new Ravnica.
Is it called
set.
Dragon's Maze?
It's called Dragon's Maze,
as
I was talking about earlier.
But it's spelt Maze, M-A-I-Z-E.
Yeah,
like corn.
But one cool thing about this set is they're reprinting some of the Shocklands from the first two sets, so it gives people a chance to pick them up, and means they won't be stupidly expensive like they were previously.
Are they the dual lands that everyone clamours for because
exactly, yeah.
They're so rare, and you can use them in Commander as well.
Yeah.
Especially useful.
Yeah. Are they the same as the old dual lands?
No. They're called like Shocklands, so when they come into play, you can pay 2 life to have them come into play untapped. And if you don't play 2 life, they come into play tapped.
Yeah.
But yeah, they produce 2 colours.
They produce 2 when they tap?
No, they produce
choose.
1. Yeah, but
you can pick.
Yeah. Like
so they're okay.
So it's kind of like a dual land, but you get the bonus of being able to bring them in straight into play. Not that.
The original dual lands were just regular lands that would give you one or the other.
Yeah.
But they weren't exactly the same as regular lands.
Mm.
But obviously they were well out of print. That's like freaking ages ago, wasn't it?
Mm.
Okay. Cool. Magic news.
Yeah.
News that is magic. Excellent. Well, yeah, kind of short intro section today. Due to us not doing anything. Kind
Speak for yourself.
Kind of helps when you... Well, I read a book.
Shut up.
Anyway. Cool. Okay, so, yeah, today's games. What are we going to be playing? Dave?
I think we're going to be playing Dong 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 Bushido. That was my shamisen impression.
It was a terrible shamisen impression.
Maybe you can add some from Soundforge or wherever it is you get your music from, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, we're going to try some Bushido. None of us have ever played it before.
Except for me.
None of us have ever played it before. But I have been reading the rules. It seems fairly straightforward. I mean, it seems like it's going to have a lot of depth and a lot of things that you can do, but it doesn't look like it's as needlessly complicated as some of the sort of skirmish games. So it seems fun. Seems good.
Yeah, Dan.
But yeah, we're going to give that a try. We've got two of the forces here. We've got...
You've got all of the forces.
I don't remember. I think it's Temple of something or other.
I think. Temple of Ryokan.
Might be.
Cult of Yurei.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Well, there you go.
Basically, the samurai ninja or samurai guys. Oh, here you go. No, that was it. Prefecture of Ryu and the Cult of Yurei. Yeah, so the Prefecture of Ryu is kind of like the traditional warlord clan. You know, samurais, nobles.
Guys with guns.
Yeah, guys with guns.
Musket.
And then the Cult of Yurei, which is like kind of like not demons, but like ghosts and stuff. And if you know anything about Japanese lore, they're basically obakemono characters. So they've got like a guy who's being influenced by a ghost, and like a haunted demon geisha girl, and then a bunch of like slaves.
Everyone loves a haunted demon geisha girl.
Yeah. So they seem kind of fun. These are the groups that I picked up. They're both mine, but now they are mine because I couldn't decide which one I wanted. Also, just an FYI about Bushido, if you haven't seen it, they've also got some other factions. You've got the Temple of Rokan, which is one that you thought.
Oh yeah, sure.
Which are like your martial artists, so like the equivalent of, you know, what do they call them?
Monks?
Chinese
monks.
Well, like Shaolin monks. They're kind of Shaolin monkey, you know, there's all guys that do...
They're Shaolin monkeys.
Shaolin monkeys.
Their lead character is Ulrika the Johnson.
Ulrika the Johnson, yeah. It's an old man sitting on a turtle, actually.
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah, I actually have a force of them as well. And
you need to give me some.
The Savage Wave, which is the only one I don't have a force of.
Oh, really? I thought you actually had those.
No, which are like, they're the actual demons, like the Oni in Japanese folklore.
Big red demons and loads of little goblin-type creatures that run around going,
exactly.
Poking people with spears.
And they recently released the 5th faction.
Yeah, they're the ones that I like the look of. What are they called?
The Ito.
Yes.
They're basically snake people.
Yeah, they're like half monster, half human.
Yeah, so some of them are literally half snake, half human, and some of them are just like humans with scales or, you know...
And they got
snake-like features. Yeah, exactly.
One of them's like his shoulders and everything are basically the back of a cobra if it's ready to strike. So, pretty cool model.
Yeah, they're kind of funky. I also have a faction of those.
Oh, you do have them?
No, I have them. I just haven't put them together.
No, but that's why I mean you actually have them. Whereas the Savage Wave you don't have.
Savage Wave is the only force I don't have, and I literally bought into all of these because it was a UK-based company, and I thought they were cool models. I like the idea of Japanese war games. So yes, I literally bought into pretty much all of it, and I've got a load of models still to build.
Add them to the growing pile of stuff.
Yeah, well, I've built these two at least.
Yeah.
So these two factions. So yes, we're going to give this a try today.
So sorry, which two are we playing with today? Cult of your anus or something?
Cult of Yurei.
Yeah, okay.
Yurei means ghost in Japanese.
Okay.
And the
Prefecture of Ryu.
Prefecture of Ryu. Ryu means dragon.
Okay.
But it's not a dragon maze. It's the Prefecture of Dragon.
Awesome.
Yeah, so we're playing with these two. So it's literally like, you know, samurais and nobles, good guys, versus ghosts and bad guys.
All the characters have their own profile card, a bit like you get in War Machine and Hordes, and then I think you use those to keep track of all your abilities and life counters and stuff like that. So.
Correct. and it's
and you tap them as you use abilities as well to keep track of how many simple or complex actions, things like that.
Yeah,
you've used, so.
Exactly that. So basically, it's a I go, you go system. So I'll activate one guy, he'll move, he'll do his thing. Then you get to activate a guy, and then we keep going backwards and forwards until everybody's activated. And then, it's how it's played. Wicked. But anyway, it's probably better if we talk about it after we played it, because then we can actually, speak with some sort of knowledge. Because at the moment we're just speaking, having based the rulebook.
I've read half the rulebook, but it was a good half.
Yeah, I've read most of it.
I'll read you.
No deal. Okay, anyway, so yeah, we're going to go away and play this.
No deal.
And then we'll come back and talk about what we thought of the game.
Maybe
Tom and Dan will watch us. Maybe they will play something else.
No.
Maybe they will flick each other's balls. Who knows? So yeah, you guys listen to this song, and we will be back shortly.
Or don't. You don't have to. It might be good. Might be bad.
No, you do.
Okay.
No deal. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Attic Gaming Club podcast. So, Dave and I have just finished, well, we haven't really finished, but we just played a game of Bushido, although we didn't really get to the end of it because we kind of ran out of time. Stop slashing and making noise. Anyway, so... oh god. So yeah, we played the game, but because of the fact that, you know, we were reading rules as we went through and we didn't know what our cards did, it took us a lot longer than it should have done.
I knew what my cards did.
You knew nothing. So we didn't actually get all the way through. But we played, what, 3 turns?
Yeah.
2 or 3 turns? Yeah.
3 turns.
So,
maybe 2.
Yeah, what do you think, Dave?
I enjoy it. Good basis. Needs... At first, the rules seemed like they were pretty well laid out and understandable, but as with anything, once you start playing, a lot of questions crop up.
Yeah.
It definitely needed to explain a bit more. One of the silly things is it didn't seem immediately obvious what happens when someone loses all of their wounds.
Yeah. Like, are they immediately removed from play?
There's lots of stuff that says removed from play, so that starts making you think, well, if they die, do they not get removed from play? Do they stay there so they can be resurrected? I don't know.
Yeah.
Fun. Obviously, as we'll probably get onto in a sec, there's a big difference between the play styles between the different factions, so that comes into its own as well.
Yeah.
I think it's not just that everyone run forwards and hit stuff.
No.
And I got to decapitate one of you guys.
You did.
Well,
that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, you did. It was weird. So I was playing the whole Cult of Ure guys, and, you know, I charged forward in the beginning, and we got into a bit of combat, and you just utterly obliterated the guys.
Very early on it became apparent that your guys were dog turd in combat.
Yeah, and I couldn't work out why they were so crap, because they point cost were similar points to yours. You know, the forces we played with were even, they were just the starter set forces. You know, and I couldn't work out why my guys were so crap, and I honestly had no idea how to win. I had no idea how to use my guys.
Yeah.
And then I started reading, you know, my leader's abilities more and trying to envision how it would work. And, you know, and it ended up with me kind of turtling in one corner with my leader in the middle and all of my guys sort of like surrounding him. And once he had put one of his abilities out, the capture soul thing, essentially every time one of my guys died, they got back up next to him. And they were exhausted, but every time you killed them, they were getting back up. And then it started to make sense how I was able to win, and it literally was through attrition.
Yeah.
It was the fact that towards the end, you were killing one of my guys every turn, or almost killing one every turn, but, you know, I was putting different...
They just appear straight back up where they'd fallen, and I'd be like, okay, so I've just wasted my action points to do nothing, because now he's still there, and I can't attack you. So.
And every now and then I would chip through a couple of hits because you didn't quite kill someone, and I put I put 1 dice into an attack, so, you know, I managed to defend and then got a couple of stabs in afterwards.
I do like the random or unknown nature of the attack. So you get a set pool of 4 dice, and you choose secretly how many you want to put into attack and defense, and then it becomes a whole risk game style where you oppose your dice, and whoever's got the highest wins.
Yeah.
Defenders don't win ties in this case, like in Risk they would. But so if I rolled 3 attack dice and 1 defense, and I had a 6 on my attack, that would be Adam's defense, and I'd do a wound. But then he might have a higher attack than my defense roll, so he would also do a wound to me. So
providing I survive.
Providing you survive, yeah, because you have initiative.
Yeah.
So there's still a chance for retaliation. In fact, I lost one of my guys because of that. I thought I was going to wipe you out. I didn't put any dice into defense, and then your guy had one sneaky little attack that went through, and it finished my dude off.
Yeah.
There was also some interesting scenarios where you had one of the moves on one of your cards, Dave, where it ignored the highest defence roll of Adam's.
Yeah, one of the dudes had, I think it was strength of the ox or something like that. And basically it meant that, or it was brutal attack, I can't remember, but whatever his highest defense dice was, it gets removed totally. So that makes the other person start thinking, well, do I bother putting any dice in defense at all? And I think you were gutsy, you went for it, you put 2 dice in, unfortunately you rolled poo.
Yeah.
You got 2 ones or 1 and 2.
But it's really, you know, at first I thought, when reading the rules, okay, you know, you can split your dice, attack and defend, and, you know, if you're going balls out attack, you know, potentially don't put any dice in defend. But as I discovered, that's actually really, really dangerous. Because it means that, even if you roll well in your defence and I roll poorly, even my poor roll does chip away at the amount of attacks and the amount of wounds that you're doing.
Yeah.
So with a 0, if I don't put any dice in, you're completely unchallenged with your attack, and you're going to do the maximum number of wounds of whatever you roll. So it's actually very, very dangerous. You're basically banking on them rolling nothing, or 1 or a 2, and you're still going to take wounds, even if they roll a 1, because you put nothing in defence, unless you're tough or, have armour, like a couple of my guys did. I will take wounds.
And when you've only got 6 or 7 wounds to play with, it quickly adds up.
Yeah, and all my guys have only got 4. So, that's the other thing. Your guys were rocking up with like 6 to 8 wounds, weren't they?
Yeah.
Whereas my guys have all got 4. Even my leaders only got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 wounds. Yeah. So, again, that...
Yeah, but then again, your guys can get resurrected and stuff, so it's...
Yeah, definitely.
It's kind of like swings and roundabouts in that sense, I suppose.
It is.
Yeah. So I think I can be more wary, but you could do it that way and survive. You could afford to put no dice or 1 dice in defence, and the chances of them rolling enough in 1 attack to kill you are very slim.
Yeah.
So even if you don't get the initiative, you've got that chance of sort of like doing some wounds. With me, you have to roll really crap for me to survive.
Yeah.
I
enjoyed before we'd even started the first turn, I knew I had my spear wielding guys who they get the initiative on. If you charge me, they still get the initiative in the first strike, although that didn't matter because all of your guys were slow. And I was trying to get clever, thinking, okay, so I can do this and position them, and then eventually I just thought, you know what, fuck it, I'm just going to charge my leader and see what happens.
Yeah.
And I was a bit worried at first, thinking, oh no, what if he dies really early on? And then found out that he is actually a big motherfucking powerhouse.
He is an utter monster. Hence, as soon as he came in and just sliced one of my guys in half in the first
turn. He killed 2 people within the first, 2 turns, didn't he?
Yeah.
Chopped through them.
I was like, man, I need a bit of that action.
So then you looked at your leader and you're like, oh, I can't do any of that shit.
Yeah, but then I looked at my leader and were like, oh, I appear to be able to take control of your leader.
All of this annoying bullshit.
Yeah.
It's just cool that he's got that decapitate move and the strength thing as well. So whatever I beat you by in the combat is added to my strength, so it kind of counts double.
Yeah.
And if I beat you by 5 or more, then you're decapitated and die instantly, a bit like Killing Blow, which is fun. So the first kill of the game was actually a decapitation, which was pretty nice.
Which made me sad.
Made me really happy. I celebrated rather lavishly.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting, and it is interesting to see that these two. I don't know if it's true for the other forces, but these two have a very different play style.
Oh, totally, yeah.
Like complete chalk and cheese. It couldn't be any more different, So now that I've played the game and get a better understanding of the rules, I'm going to go and read the cards for the other 2 factions that I've got.
I'm really interested to see what those serpent people do, because it sounds like they're going to maybe be a mix of special abilities with funky control dynamics and also charge forwards and stab. Yeah,
I got a feeling maybe poison is going to be prevalent.
It might be. I definitely saw the word poison in the manual.
Yes, exactly.
Somewhere with a little X next to it.
So yeah, I'm going to read the other 2, which are as we said before, the Ito and the Temple of Rokan. Yeah,
I guess they're going to, because they've got huge Oni demons and then loads of little monsters, so it's probably going to be. Do they not?
That's the Savage Wave.
Oh, sorry, Savage Wave. Yeah, that's what I meant to.
But you're right. Yeah, so they'll probably be similar to mine.
It's going to be similar to yours, except the boss is going to be a big powerhouse that punches people in the head while all the little guys just mob you up and swarm.
Yeah.
And don't do much damage but slow you down like a target or something.
Yeah. But the other guys I've got are the Temple of Rokan, which are
the monks.
The monks.
So they're probably going to have heals and shit like that.
Heals, maybe counter-attacks. I saw the ability counter-attack in the manual, so maybe that comes up. Maybe they can, turn your strength against you or something like that. I don't know. I'm going to go through and read the cards and see how they look.
Yeah. But it'd be interesting playing against someone who doesn't have slow.
Yeah.
For all of their people as well, because getting the initiative, essentially attacking first and doing your wounds first, can be a big difference in a fight. And when you actually got worrying about thinking, okay, who shall I activate now because they're going to get the initiative, so technically I might be able to take someone out and then remove them from their pool. Whereas with you, it didn't matter, I was always getting it, so it made me think a bit less about that.
Yeah, for sure. So, Tom and Dan, I know that you guys were dipping in and out and listening to what we were doing, as well as
playing a mega board game
and
stuff.
Borderlands 2 top trumps.
Not that lasted very long.
So what did you guys think from the brief thing that you could see of us playing?
I think I'd need to watch it again it was definitely made for better watching towards the end once you had a better handle on the rules and you
there was a lot of rule flicking at the
to begin with, sort of looking over and there's nothing happening apart from you two thumbing through rule books. And look away again, look back, and you're still thumbing through the rule books on what appears to be the same point. So then coming for the second half, it's like, and you've got stuff moving around, you've got dice being rolled, you've got models being moved around, being taken off and what have you. It just makes for much better watching when there's stuff happening.
For sure.
So I wouldn't want to say anything about it too much without having a chance to see it played again.
Yeah. Dan?
Yeah, I'd kind of agree with that. It seems like the rules are a little bit... It's not like they're overly complicated, but they're just not explained thoroughly.
There's just a lot.
As you said,
you've got lots of traits, lots of feats, lots of different things, simple actions and complex actions, and so knowing everything you can do and how they all go together. That's the main problem as well, interactions. There's not a lot of explanation about interactions between different types of rules.
Yeah.
And the explanation on the card anatomy wasn't as thorough as it could have been. Yeah. There were some symbols and things we still don't know what they do because they're not in the menu.
Yeah. I'll be honest, like as much as I do like the game and I do want to continue playing it and learning it, the version of the rulebook that we've got is pretty crappy.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not clear. It doesn't explain things in a logical order when you read through. You read these combat examples and stuff and you think, okay, that makes sense. I understand how combat works. And now what happens when somebody dies? And that section is just absent. And you just think, well, obviously that's going to be, either
the next thing.
Combat's going to continue until somebody dies. That's what's going to happen. So I expect at the end of the combat section of the rulebook to know what happens when somebody dies. Do they get removed immediately? Do they go to the end, knock down to the end of the turn and then get removed? Do you have a chance to get them back? Are they immediately removed? Is there a difference from... going down to 0 wounds or immediately being removed from play through a decapitation, for example. I don't know. Perhaps decapitation means that they can't get back up or something.
Or they can't be resurrected.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Yeah. But, it's not logically explained in the rulebook in the order that I would have liked. But, that said, there are a lot of FAQs on the website that I haven't read through yet. There may be a revised rulebook, because at the moment the rulebooks aren't printed. You get a mini rulebook with each box set, like each starter set, and you can download the rulebook from the website, which is what I've done here. And
but you did that ages ago, didn't you?
I did do it ages ago. So it's quite possible that there is a version 2 or a version 1.2 or something.
Or version 7.
Or version 7. So, definitely tonight I'm going to go into the website, look at all the FAQs, see if there's updated rulebooks, and read the cards for the other factions that I've got.
See what Board Game Geek's got to say about some of the stuff, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. But overall, I enjoy it, and I do want to play it again.
Yeah, it's got a solid system behind it.
Yeah. So that's
just
cool.
As with anything, learning the intricacies.
Indeed.
I think one thing that I enjoyed to watch as well was just as you already mentioned, how different the teams were. I'd be interested to see how different the other teams are as well, because I mean I'm not any expert in these sort of games by any means, but in the ones I have seen, a lot of the teams are fairly similar. I mean, okay, they have some slightly different abilities here and there, but generally you're wanting to either get in combat and fuck people up, or you're wanting to shoot people. Yeah, exactly. Whereas these teams were chalk and cheese, as you said earlier, which was interesting to watch, and I can imagine it's really fun to play as well.
Yeah,
I was really trying hard to get off, because the few of my guys have got a mob mentality, so that if they get multiple people in combat, they get extra dice added to their pools for being coordinated attack, I think it was, or something. And then I had another guy that lets me move them out of turn sequence, so I was trying to use him to move them in and then get them to support each other to do extra damage. But by that point, Adam had kind of figured out his dude, so all I was doing was stabbing zombies and then them standing straight back up in my face, and I was like, okay, well, this is a waste of an action, so pointless. But if I'd managed to bring that to bear on your leader or something, that could have been pretty devastating.
Well, this is the thing, it's going to take, even in a system to death, like Warhammer
pulling
or
that kind of
Necromunda,
stuff off is not easy.
Well, and just generally, if you start, you might know Necromunda off by heart or Warhammer by heart, but if you swap armies, it will take you a few games to learn that army and learn how it plays and the synergies, and
so that with a new game as well.
Exactly,
is just tough.
This first game, it's just a case of us learning the rules, and then a couple of games that we'll be proficient with not having to look stuff up, knowing tables, knowing the abilities that are on our cards, and then after that we can start exploring synergies of cards and characters together and trying to work out combos and stuff like that, and not just sort of running towards each other and smacking each other until one falls
and then we can try and incorporate them into War Machine.
Let's not talk about War Machine. But yeah, cool. Okay, well, yeah, I mean, I was happy to play that we finally got to play it, and I definitely want to try it again. maybe we switch sides next time or something.
Yeah. Well, if you put the rest of your guys together, then these two can.
That's true.
We can have like
4-way or 2-2 games.
60-time games.
Indeed. Everything's 60 times. Excellente.
Wait for it. Boo, no sixes.
Rubbish. Cool, so does anyone else have anything that they want to touch on at the moment?
I have nothing I want to touch.
But you'll sit next to Dave. Excellent. Alright, well, short episode today, but I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We will come back to Bushido later and, go more in depth with that in another episode. But for now, thanks for joining us. Remember, you can leave comments on our YouTube channel or Twitter, which is Attic Gaming Club. You can email us at atticgamingclub@gmail.com, or you can now find our podcast on iTunes, which is what you should be listening to this on now, which you just search Attic Gaming Club on iTunes.
What if I don't use iTunes?
You can go directly to our site, Dave, which is atticgamingclub.libsyn.com. That's LIBSYN.com.
But it doesn't have volume control.
No, but you can download the MP3s directly from each episode.
Okay.
So you can put it on your favourite device, iPod,
Nexus 4,
Nexus 4,
Nexus 7,
Nexus 7,
Nexus 10,
S4, which has been
Vibrator.
announced.
Yeah,
Meh, I control. Anyway,
well, yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, feel free, leave us comments, get in touch, Twitter, blah blah blah. We always like to hear from you. So anyway, yeah, thanks for joining us again, and from me, Dave, Tom, and Dan, we will catch you on the flip side.
Woot.
Shazam.